So let's move on then to the behavioral styles that the different leaders can adopt. Okay? And these are behaviors. So we have task-oriented behaviors, relationship-oriented behaviors, passive behaviors, which we don't want, and transformational behaviors. You'll find that transformational kind of crosses over from task-oriented and relationship-oriented. You have to be aware that sometimes these theories were not developed in conjunction with one another. Okay, so with task-oriented behaviors, the first one, the primary purpose is to ensure that people, equipment, and other resources are used in an efficient way. Okay, so two things that the leader does is first initiate structure. So he basically, he or she organizes the group to maximizes the productivity. Okay, so for example, our previous department head, as I said, organized us into different groups. We had a group for assessment, a group for the visibility of the department, make sure that we're visible across the campus and even outside of it. We had an engagement committee where we were supposed to engage students as well as the other committee, some external community. We also had what we called a quality assurance committee to make sure that the quality was the same across. So all she did is just organize us and then put a head of the committee and then just left us to lead the way, but did not micromanage what we were doing. There's also transactional leadership that's done by task-oriented behaviors, is that we have to clarify what the roles of the people are, what their goals is, follow up on those goals, and in turn, put the punishment and rewards are then applied to that person and given feedback. So that same department head would always, at the end of each semester, sit down with us, tell us what we plan for the next year, what in terms of publication, in terms of teaching, in terms of innovative teaching, what we're going to do for service. Are we going to engage the community? Are we going to do peer review publications? I mean, peer review for other journals, maybe appear on in the press, what is. And therefore, over the semester, she would just follow up and see what we're doing. And the end of the semester, meet with us again and see how well we achieve those different targets. So this is part of the leader, is to initiate the structure and also to see what the roles of the people are and follow up with the rewards, making sure that they're on track. There's also a different type of behaviors called relationship-oriented behaviors. We're more concerned about the, what we can do to enhance employee skills to create a positive work relationships. So there are a couple of things that we do, and there are 4 behaviors. Consideration, which is creating mutual respect or trust and focusing on a concern for group members' needs and desires. So, which promotes social interaction. So our former department head also would try to make sure that everyone's concerns related to the work are really something that she herself takes into consideration. So for example, when I wanted to leave or any other member, faculty member had a concern, she would consider that her own. She would follow up with human resources, she would follow up with different parties in the university, even if it wasn't her responsibility, because she saw that she wanted to make our life easy, and that would make us more productive. She empowered us. She believes in others. So I remember in one situation, we had a company organize a competition in which students from different universities would participate in a case competition against one another. And they were supposed to come up with a plan to, I think that was related to the FIFA World Cup, okay? And I had never done something like that. So the department head approached me and told me, Amro, I think you're the best person for this, and I have faith in you, and this is why I recommend that you do this. I had no clue what to do, and my students won first place, but the fact that she believed in me actually gave me the motivation to do it. Okay, so this is also one of the good things about leaders. A leader also was relationship oriented, sees himself as being not a servant to others, but being is of service to others. His job is to make him the lives of other people easy. So as I talked about before, the department head would listen to what the concerns of the department is. She would feel what they're going through, and she would also provide any kind of help that she could. Even so, she would attend baby showers for the faculty members. She's thought of herself as providing support for other people. Ethical leadership. You also have to, if you're service or relationship oriented, is you have to be a good role model for what other people are doing. You can't just be doing negative behaviors. So for example, one of the department heads that I worked for, not at USD, at some other place, would not come to frequently the department meetings before coming to a department. And other people viewed that as not being ethical or wrong, and it showed that he didn't care. So when he became a department head, people could care less about the department because he did not exhibit proper behaviors in the past, and therefore when he wanted us to exhibit these proper behaviors in the future, not a lot of people would follow him. There's also, these are type of behaviors that we don't want to exhibit, is showing that we don't care about leading people. We don't provide that common vision. We don't provide that proper support for the employees. So one other department head, the students would go complain to the department head, and we always felt that as faculty members, we were not supported. The department head only cared about students not complaining. He would always tell us, please don't send students to me. I don't want any complaints from them. Well, we felt that we did not have any support, and therefore, we should just respond to the whim of any student. But our previous head would always say, if you have any problems with your students, just send them to me, and I will deal with the situation. So it made us feel, comfortable that if in case, students were, we had issues with them, we could send them to the department. And if we were at fault, we could bear the responsibility. And she would highlight that we were wrong, but if the students were wrong, she would also deal with it and have our backs. But in the other manager, he just cared about, not seeing students at all. He felt that, he just wanted to be a passive leader. So passive leaders also will avoid conflict. So I remember sending to that department, asking them that he had promised me, let's say, go to a conference, and he just ignored my email despite sending it over and over. A passive leader fails to coach. He does not provide, he or she provide, advice to others on how they can do well. And this is something one of the department heads previously did really well. She coached several people into doing better research, and she would sit down with them. She would encourage them. She would encourage them to sit down with others who are more successful in terms of research. So, and passive leaders don't provide performance goals or feedback. They just don't care about others. So you see, a passive leadership doesn't care about work, doesn't care about other employees and whether they achieve their goals or not. And they don't care about whether employees can, needs. So I remember resigning, and at that that the person leading the department at that time never asked me, what was wrong? Is there anything that I can do? Did we do anything wrong? And that's really not a good thing they want to do. So what are the takeaways from this type of theory or behavioral theories that we talked about is what are things that you should do? Leader behavior is more important than leader traits because behavior is something that we can control. It can be improved in development. And there's no one best style of leadership. You want all of these behaviors to exist. Sometimes you want them to be more relationship-oriented. Sometimes you want them to be task-oriented, but you definitely don't want them to be passive. Let's test our knowledge here. Margaret leads her employees by having formal, well-developed guidelines, procedure for each task they perform. Which leadership style best describes Margaret's style? Is it A, consideration, B, passive, C, servant leadership, D, competent leadership, or transactional leadership? If you said E, transactional leadership, then you're right. A, C are part of relationship kind of behaviors for leaders. So it's E, transactional leadership.